Hello students, now let's begin with texturing. First of all, we will see some fundamentals of texturing before we start with the actual texturing the objects. Now, for texturing, the option which is used in any 3D software is called as a shader. So basically we have two types of shaders in 3D software, that is surface shader and the other is volumetric shader. Surface shader is used for various surfaces like wood, metal, plastic, ceramic, rubber, leather, glass. These are all surfaces. Whenever we say that this surface is glossy, then we are talking about the property of the surface. Or whenever we say that this surface is reflective, that is the property of the surface. So for all these options, surface shader is used. Volumetric shader is used for the materials in which we can actually navigate, like water, fog or smoke. We can go inside the object. For these kind of things, we use volumetric shaders. Let's begin with the surface shaders. Now, before starting with the surface shaders, we need to know some basic surface shader properties. First property is diffuse. Diffuse is basically color of the object. It is also called as ability of an object to reflect color. That means if you see something green, its diffuse is green. Now why we call it as ability of an object to reflect color? Because the light which is falling on that green object is basically white light, but out of that blue and red are absorbed and green is rejected. So diffuse is nothing but the rejected color of that object. So in short, you just have to remember that diffuse is the color of the object. Second option is specular. Specular is the glossy highlight on the surface. Then we have ambient. Ambient is the color on the darker side. Then we have reflection. We have refraction. Refraction is bending of light through a transparent medium. Say for example, if we immerse a stick into water, it looks bended. That is because of refraction. Because the light rays, when they travel from air to water, they get deflected. And the amount of deflection depends on the index of refraction or refractive index of that particular object. For pure water, the refractive index is 1.33. For glass, the refractive index is 1.52, or some people take it as 1.517. For diamond, it is 2.3, and so on. You can get the chart of it from Google as well. So refraction is there. Then diffraction. Diffraction is when light falls on a surface while getting reflected, it gets splitted into 7 different colors. The best example is the CD or DVD surface, where you can see the 7 color pattern, or if you see oil or petrol spilling on water, it reflects 7 colors. That is called as diffraction. Then we have translucency. Translucency is basically a translucent surface is basically a semi-transparent surface. The light passes through it, but it's not transparent. The best example is paper. If you hold a paper in front of light will come out of it, but you cannot call paper as a transparent. So simply you can call it as semi-transparent. Even our skin and leaves are translucent surfaces. In translucent, again we have two concepts like translucent depth and translucent focus. Translucent depth is the amount of penetration that has happened inside the surface is basically translucent depth. And once the light penetrates the surface, it gets scattered inside the surface. That is called as subsurface scattering or SSS, and that is called as translucent focus. SSS is subsurface scattering. That is when your light goes inside a surface and when it gets scattered, is called as subsurface scattering. You can see it in white cloud in the afternoon. When the sunlight enters the cloud, it gets spreaded a lot. That's why it looks blue. that is subsurface scattering. So these are a few fundamental properties of surface shaders. Then we also need to know the basics of light, but before that we will see how to create the surface shaders. For that, go to 3ds Max. Let's create a simple plane and a teapot. Teapot is a very helpful shape in studying or building the textures and lights. Now for material editor, press M for material editor in 3ds Max. So M for material editor. Now once you open material editor, it will look something like this. There are two types of material editor. This is precisely called as a slate material editor, which is very similar to Hypershade of Maya. You click on modes and select compact material editor. It will create a very basic type of material editor, a traditional material editor, which is somewhat easy to understand for the beginners. Here on the top we have 24 different material slots. Now many students ask, what if I have used all the 24 slots? Basically, whenever you create any material, you can put that material into the library, and whenever you want, you can extract it from the library. So it's like a table. Suppose you have went to a book library, all the books are in cupboards, and whatever book you want to read, you just take it out and put it on the table. Once you are done with that, you again put it inside the rack. So similarly, these 24 slots are like a table. Whatever material you want to work on, you take from the library, put inside a slot and work on it. And once you are done, put it inside again the rack or the library. Now, let's select a material slot. Once it is selected, it is shown in white border. That means I have selected this material slot. Here I can see the parameters of that slot. Now, suppose if I want to change the parameters of the other slot, you need to select it, and the options you will get will be of the selected material slot. To apply it, there are two different methods. One is simply you can click and drag it on the object and the material will be applied. Once you apply a material to an object, you can see that the border or the corners are chamfered. That means this material has been used somewhere in the scene. Now, if you select the object to which this material has been applied, all the corners will be in white chamfer. That means the object to which this material has been applied is selected. The other method is select the object, select a material slot, and then click over here, assign material to selection. Here also the material will get assigned to the object. Now you can see that both these slots are having chamfered corners. This is having grey chamfered corner. That means the object to which this material has been applied is not selected, and here we have white chamfer. Now select this material slot, go to the options, and here you will find diffuse, that is the color of the object. In case if you want to change the color of the base, click on it and choose any color whatever you want, and that color will be applied to the object. Ambient and diffuse are interlocked because ambient shade is basically created with the help of light. It's the color in the shadow. Now you might have a question that as it is a color created by a shadow, why do we need to give set it as a separate option in 3ds Max? When we set the light, automatically the dark color will be set. The thing is that some of the materials, like say ice, if you see the icy mountains, it doesn't have a black shade in the shadow. It has a bluish shade as an ambient color. That's why you can break it and set it as a separate color. Specular is the glossy highlight that will come little later on. First of all, again I will select this material slot for teapot, click on diffuse and select a new color, say green over here. Now let's go to specular. We'll increase the specular level. Now the object will become glossy. Click on the slot to enhance the view of it. So this is specular. This is also called a specular region. Diffuse is the actual color of the object, and this is ambient, that is the color of the darker side. So specular is white by default. It is actually nothing but the reflection of the light source. You can click on it. You can, in case if you want, you can change the specular color and you can see it over here but by default usually it is white only. You can increase the glossiness. This will in fact reduce the specular region, but the overall glossiness of the object will increase. You can further go on increasing the glossiness and the specular region will go on reducing. Instead of simply putting a color to diffuse or specular or anything, you can click in front of diffuse, this small button, and another dialog box will open. There are few ready-made textures like cellular, dent, even checker, noise and all. And suppose if you want to select an image from your computer, you simply click on bitmap and browse any image from your PC to apply it. Now let's just see whether we have any image. Let's apply this image. Now I have applied the image, but still it is not visible in the viewport. To make it visible in the viewport, you need to click on this option that is called as show shaded material in viewport. Now it is visible over here. Now you will see different options and the previous options are gone. These are the placing options of that particular image, like coordinates option. You can offset the image horizontally or vertically. Suppose if I change the amount by say 0.2, the horizontal offset will be there, vertical offset will be there, 0.3, like this. You can have repetitions of the same image if you set it to say 12. So we will have 12 repetitions of the same image horizontally and 12 repetitions of the same image vertically as well. So this is called as tiling and this is rotation. Let's put tiling as a 1 only and rotation. That should be around W, that is the perpendicular for that particular material. Now if you want to go back to the original options of material, you have to click on this, go to parent option, and again you can see the original options. Now you can see M appears over here, that means a map has been assigned to it. In case if you want to remove the map, right click and click on clear to remove the map. Now using these options, ambient, diffuse, specular level, glossiness and soften. Soften basically, let's reduce the glossiness so that we will have a bigger specular region. Now this is specular color, this is diffuse color, and this is the area where specular and diffuse are getting mixed. Soften affects that particular area. If you increase the soften, this area will gradually blend into the diffuse. Specifically, if you see the leather material, then the specular region is very uniformly and smoothly blended into the diffuse. So that's why it looks little different than the metallic finish. So using these options, we create different materials. But that could be very tricky or time consuming. For that matter, 3ds Max, or rather I should say Autodesk, has given you a ready-made library. Click on this standard button and it will open a dialog box. Out of that, select physical material. Once you select physical material in the same slot, you will get a drop down menu over here that is of presets. And here you can find glossy paint, satin, matte paint, rubber, then brushed metal, copper, gold, silver, and so many options are over here, even for wood and glass as well. So using the same properties, they have predefined or created presets of some regularly used materials and have provided them in the drop down menu. So for example, if you select clear glass and the material will be applied to it. In case if you want to make changes into that or you want to customize it, that also is possible over here. The same options will be displayed at the bottom, that is transparency and the base color. The metalness, if you want to increase, you can increase the metalness. That will basically affect the specular region. Then we have IOR, that is index of refraction. For glass it is 1.52. That's why it is 1.5 over here. In case if you want to convert it into water, you have to change that value to 1.33 and it will be changed.